As Chancellor of the University, I declare this congregation open for the conferring of degrees by the authority of the Senate and of the Council.
Lord Lieutenant, Chairman of the County Council, distinguished guests, parents, colleagues, friends and graduands, as Vice-Chancellor, I am delighted to welcome you to this degree congregation. It is a celebration for postgraduates who constitute almost 50% of the university's student population, a feature that makes Leicester unique among UK universities, as we have a high proportion of students who study with us on a part-time basis, both on campus and by distance learning. We hope you will remember this as a very special day for yourselves and your families, and that you will continue to follow the fortunes of your university that continues to enjoy considerable success in many national competitions. At the end of last year, we were shortlisted for a second time in 2 years for the title Institution of the Year. We were delighted when the Times Higher Education Supplements booklet on this competition commented, "Leicester may not be the most famous university in the UK, but by any measure, it is one of the best." This was a view shared by students who completed the National Student Survey by placing us top among mainstream English universities who teach full-time students. And they also placed 14 of 19 departments in the top 10 in the UK. Now, one of the reasons for this success is the equal focus Leicester places on providing high-quality teaching and high-quality research. All our teaching is supported by leading-edge research. In the last year, Leicester researchers have discovered a gene that causes a distressing eye condition, unearthed an ancient curse tablet in an excavation in the city centre here through work conducted by the archaeology department, developed a technique to reveal earthquake faults. They have also identified how Japanese teaching methods could benefit English schools and raise student achievement. Researchers in Leicester have developed research on teaching in our Centres of Excellence for Teaching and Learning in genetics, geography and physics education. They have also established a lifelong learning network on behalf of higher education institutions in the East Midlands region in order to develop and promote higher education, especially among those families who have not had anyone go to university. In this sense, we actually engage in lifelong learning. We don't just talk about it in policy terms. These are just a few examples of the work conducted in this university that shapes our world. But to continue developing such high-quality teaching and research requires excellent facilities. In the last 3 months, we have opened a new £25 million student hall of residence with state-of-the-art facilities for 581 students. We have completed a £6 million refurbishment of over 130 rooms and laboratories in different parts of the university. We have also recently opened a £22 million building dedicated to biomedical research. All these projects have not only required government funding, but match funding from the university itself. This year, our largest project concerns the redevelopment of the university library. The project costs in total £27 million and will bring together excellent facilities for research and teaching and will demonstrate that libraries, knowledge creation and knowledge management are at the very heart of higher education. Such a project has also involved us in systematic fundraising. Indeed, we are almost at the end of our campaign for this major project, for which we have already raised £10 million through various donations. Now, at this point, if you're starting to feel sorely tempted to help us out, I can say we're always ready to accept new donations, and we'll be pleased to talk to you at the end of a busy day. Any university requires multi-million-pound investments for new buildings, laboratories, classrooms, staff and equipment, and Leicester is no exception. It is therefore essential that government funding continues to help transform universities throughout the country. But this funding needs to be placed alongside our own fundraising. And I hope you will wish to continue to support your university in many different ways through our Alumni Association. However, on this occasion, it is also very important to remember those who have supported you through university. And in that sense, before I close, I would like you all, those of you graduating today, to join me in a round of applause for your parents, relatives, sponsors and friends, all of whom have made your achievements possible. That's very good. I hope you continue to applaud your fellow graduates throughout the ceremony. At this stage, it just remains for me to offer my congratulations on the degrees you have been awarded and on all your many achievements, and just to say, have a splendid day and all good wishes to you in your future careers.
The graduands in the Faculty of Social Sciences will be presented by the Dean, Professor Jackson. Will all graduands in the faculty please stand?
Mr. Chancellor, I ask you to admit these candidates from the Faculty of the Social Sciences to the several degrees for which they are presented.
Candidates in the Faculty of the Social Sciences, by the authority of the Senate, I admit you to the several degrees for which you are presented.
For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Georgios Alexopoulos.
I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Kamis Al-Tobi.
I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Chungcheng Li.
I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Sin Sin Lee.
I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Henrietta O'Connor.
I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Aaron Ovid.
I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Congratulations.
For the degree of Doctor of Education, Mary Kyung.
I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Education. Congratulations.
Leanne Purnell.
I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Education. Congratulations.
Kit Pui Wong. For the degree of Master of Education, Frank Rowe. For the degree of Master of Arts in Applied Linguistics and Teaching of English to Speakers of Other Languages, Sheng Mi Chin.
Many congratulations on you too.
Nola Dennis.
Well done, Nola. Congratulations.
Simon Forrester.
Congratulations, Simon. Well done.
Afet Gune.
Many congratulations. Well done.
Soo Jin Kim.
Congratulations, Susan.
Kate Lovell.
Well done, Kate. Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Arts in Educational Studies, Christina Aresti.
Congratulations, Christina. Well done.
Erica Cliff.
Well done, Erica. Congratulations.
Cheng Gong.
Many congratulations. Well done.
Sheila Grice.
Congratulations, Sheila.
Maria Hadjipavlo.
Congratulations, Sheila.
Maria Zivla.
Congratulations, Sheila.
Hannah Polly.
Well done, Hannah. Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Business Administration Education Management, Robert Aldridge.
Well done, Robert. Congratulations.
Miles Berry.
Congratulations.
David Boyle.
Congratulations.
Sarah Drury.
Well done, Sarah. Congratulations.
Jerry Foley.
Congratulations.
Gillian Gee.
Congratulations, Sarah. Well done.
Nicola Hall Rushton.
Congratulations. Well done.
Rochelle McHugh.
Congratulations.
Sarah Parker.
Well done, Sarah. Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Business Administration, Hamisu Adebule.
Well done, congratulations.
Isaac Addy.
Congratulations. Well done.
Frederica Adji.
Congratulations, Frederica.
Daniel Adji Frimpong.
Well done, Daniel. Congratulations.
Amankwa Adu.
Many congratulations. Well done.
Andrew Affleck.
Well done, Andrew. Congratulations.
Supreme Agbovi.
Many congratulations. Well done.
Augustine Agri.
Congratulations.
Kweku Aidu.
Many congratulations. Well done.
Hildegund Aitkins.
Congratulations.
Francis Akosoa Darte.
Well done, Francis. Congratulations.
Michael Akawo.
Congratulations, Michael.
Pearl Akifo Boheni.
Many congratulations.
Gad Akwansibi.
Congratulations. Well done.
Ibrahim Ali Maniku.
Congratulations. Well done.
Emmanuel Amankona.
Well done, Emmanuel. Congratulations.
Emmanuel Amugi.
Congratulations, Emmanuel.
Selam Anku.
Many congratulations.
Ransi Anand.
Well done, Rancy. Congratulations.
Bernard Apia.
Many congratulations.
Festus Atibla.
Many congratulations.
Paul Akwasi Asamoah.
Congratulations.
Muhammad Aslam.
Congratulations, Mohammed. Well done.
Opel Atimo.
Well done, Opel.
Badibru Badibru.
Well done.
Madika Ba.
Congratulations. Well done.
Baba Ibrahim Bawa.
Medical congratulations.
Lawrence Beaufort Jones.
Honorary congratulations.
Peter Becky.
Congratulations.
Eva Bloch.
Congratulations.
Carolina Boyle.
Congratulations, Caroline.
Elmiada Brooks.
Congratulations, Caroline.
Stephen Brown.
Well done, Steve. Congratulations.
Titania Chalkidu.
Congratulations, Titania.
Hung Lung Chang.
Congratulations, Titania.
Shu Fen Chang.
Congratulations, Titania.
Joseph Chen Chen He.
Congratulations. Well done.
Silvio Chikuti.
Many congratulations. Well done.
Darren Collins.
Congratulations. Well done.
Reuben Collins.
Well done, ladies. Congratulations.
Des Conlon.
Congratulations, folks.
Lizzie Conroy.
Well done, Lizzie. Congratulations.
Simon Davey.
Well done, Simon. Congratulations.
Michael de Blasio.
Congratulations, Michael. Well done.
Fotini Deli.
Katrina, congratulations.
Yana De Silla.
Well done, Yannick. Congratulations.
Beatrice Doe.
Congratulations.
Emmanuel Dugan.
Well done, Yannick. Congratulations.
Castro Duby.
Many congratulations.
Rebecca Dwira Minka.
Congratulations, Rebecca. Well done.
Anthony Edibor.
Well done, Anthony. Congratulations.
Atanuki Ekundeo.
Congratulations.
Mavis Effie.
Well done, Mavis. Congratulations.
Joanna Elder.
Congratulations, Anna.
Victor Fanuku.
Well done, Victor. Congratulations.
Alan Fitzsimmons.
Congratulations, Anna.
David Fox.
Congratulations, David. Well done.
Amma Frimpong.
Many congratulations.
Lim Fung.
Congratulations, David.
Margaret Garrett.
Well done, Margaret. Congratulations.
Sammy Hack.
Congratulations, Sammy.
Makani Hemadri.
Many congratulations.
Anne Hill.
Well done, Anne. Congratulations.
Yasushi Hirosaki.
Subarashi. Congratulations.
Maseo Hoshino.
Congratulations.
Xu Wenshu.
Many congratulations.
Francis Hughes.
Well done, Francis. Congratulations.
Valerie Hurst.
Congratulations, Annie. Well done.
Heidi Hippolyte.
Well done, Heidi. Congratulations.
James Irvin.
Congratulations, Annie.
Carmen Risati.
Congratulations, Annie.
Vikas Kera.
Well done, Vikas. Congratulations.
Toby Kingsbury.
Well done, Debbie.
Wanjiku Kiragu.
Congratulations, Vicky.
Adwoa Kisi.
Many congratulations.
Marius Kudjis.
Congratulations, Annie.
Aranthi Krishna Kumar.
Many congratulations.
Marion Cooper.
Well done, Marion. Congratulations.
Frank Kwachi.
Many congratulations.
Michael Kwame Aji.
Congratulations, Matthew. Well done.
Mina Lai.
Congratulations, Annie.
David Leonard.
Well done, ladies. Congratulations.
Xu Fen Lin.
Congratulations, Conrad. Congratulations.
Chin Sheng Lo.
Congratulations.
Hui Han Lu.
Many congratulations.
Michael Murray.
Many congratulations.
Dengbi Marco.
Many congratulations.
Shirley Marshall.
Well done. Congratulations.
Kochi Matsuhita.
Congratulations.
Gillian McMahon.
Well done, congratulations.
Joseph Mikulev.
Congratulations.
Katrina Mills.
Well done, congratulations.
Yasuhiro Mimura.
Ganbate Mamura-san.
Mark Minter.
Congratulations, guys. Well done.
Ali Mohammed.
Congratulations. Well done.
Karen Montalto.
Many congratulations.
Estriata Mairogiani.
Many congratulations. Well done.
Alison Nkobo.
Many congratulations. Well done.
Brian Ngafak.
Well done, Brian. Congratulations.
George Nkitia.
Congratulations, George. Well done.
Elikim Oklo.
Many congratulations.
Kwaku Omeng Agiyi.
Many congratulations. Well done.
Emmanuel Ose.
Congratulations, Mary.
Milton Owar.
Well done, Milton. Congratulations.
Kay Pat.
Congratulations. Well done.
Jatinder Paul.
Many congratulations.
Jirapon Pianchob.
Many congratulations.
Dokye Piasa.
Many congratulations. Well done.
Balaganapathy Parambusam Bandan.
Congratulations. Well done.
Garnet Pra Arthur.
Many congratulations. Well done.
Rosemary Pooney.
Well done, Rosie. Congratulations.
Makani Purva.
Many congratulations on your degree.
Nana Roxon.
Congratulations, Mary. Well done.
Louise Samut.
Well done, Louise. Congratulations.
Nutapon Tiran Uwat.
Many congratulations on your degree.
Angelino Skibaris.
Well done, Angelina. Congratulations.
Owusu Sikiri.
Congratulations.
Jimmy Shah.
Well done, Jimmy. Congratulations.
Vasiliki Siagri.
Congratulations.
Daniel Sinclair.
Well done, Daniel. Congratulations.
Iya Takamura.
Ganbate Takamura-san.
Ann Ten.
Congratulations.
Devin Thompson.
Well done, Devin. Congratulations.
Gifty Sarah Thompson.
And many congratulations.
Eunice Torpe.
Well done, Eunice. Congratulations.
Mohammed Ula.
Congratulations, Daniel.
Daniel van der Puy.
Many congratulations. Well done.
Sonia Violato.
Congratulations, Daniel. Well done.
Jeremiah Wanenya.
Congratulations, Daniel. Well done.
Pushpitha Vera Sequeira,
Congratulations.
Ebenezer Werko,
Congratulations.
Terry Withington,
Congratulations.
Grace Wong,
Congratulations.
Lin Yang, Asima Yeboah, Fahad Zainal,
It is very, very rare for this university to award a posthumous honorary degree. It is fitting that Professor Ted Wragg, who died in November 2005 and is represented here today by his son Christopher, should be honoured in this exceptional manner. Ted Wragg was one of the best known names in English education. He was the author of more than 50 books, as well as being a talented broadcaster on both radio and television. In addition, for over 30 years, he wrote witty and trenchant comments on education for both The Guardian and the Times Educational Supplement. The Ted Wragg Award for Lifetime Achievement also honours his memory. It is awarded annually to those who have shown exceptional devotion to teaching throughout their careers. Throughout his own academic career, Ted Wragg was that very rare professor of education who always made time to teach a class of children for 1 or 2 days a week in order to remain in touch with the profession at the chalk face. Edward Conrad Rag was born in Sheffield in 1938 and received his early education there. As a child and throughout his life, he was known as Ted to supporters and opponents alike. Although if you wish to read any of his many books, and I can personally recommend some of them, you will need to look under E.C. Rag, his nom de plume. Ted went from Sheffield to Durham University, where he took a first-class BA in German, and then a postgraduate certificate in education, also first class. He began his career as a modern languages teacher at the Queen Elizabeth Grammar School in Wakefield, where he taught from 1960 until 1964. He then moved to Leicester as head of German at Wigston Boys' School, which is just across the park from this hall. A former pupil there has described him as an inspiring teacher. His teaching style was effortless, his classroom control flawless, his humour still memorable. Wigston Boys was, and in its current manifestation as the Wigston and Queen Elizabeth I College still is, a rugby-playing school. This is Leicester, after all. The football-loving Rag solved the problem of the lack of goalposts on the school playing fields by gathering together his fourth formers and practising on Victoria Park. The effect Ted Wragg had on these pupils was such that they were planning a 40 years on reunion with him at the time of his death. Whilst teaching at Wigston, Ted Wragg also worked on his thesis for the degree of Master of Education of this university, which he was awarded in 1967. By the time that his master's degree was awarded, Ted Wragg had moved out of full-time school teaching, being appointed lecturer in education at Exeter University in 1966. Apart from a short period as Professor of Education at Nottingham between 1973 and 1978, the School of Education at Exeter University was his base for the rest of his career. He was Professor of Education there for 25 years until his retirement in 2003. He was also director of the School of Education there from 1978 until 1994. As such, he made it one of the most influential university education departments in the country. He also became one of the most consulted experts in his field, a process which was greatly helped by his superb broadcasting style. He was a natural on television, floating ideas for their interest value and noted for his humour and candour. His ready and sharp, or even acerbic wit, worked well with his often savage indignation at politically inspired reforms of education. The indignation could usually be relied upon to produce headlines the day after a major interview. Ted Wragg's expertise in education was recognised by many appointments to public bodies. In 1981, he became president of the British Educational Research Association at a very early age. He was a member of the Education Committee of the University Grants Commission from 1981 to 89, and a member of the board of the Qualifications and Curriculum Authority from 1997 until 2003. His Excellence Act and wide experience of broadcasting caused him to be appointed chairman of the Educational Broadcasting Council, which he was from 1981 to 1986. He was also a member and later chairman of the General Advisory Council of the BBC. To put it at its most simple, Ted Wragg's creed, as he evolved it over the years, was a plea for the return of common sense to educational practice and theory. He disliked dogmatic thinking and believed that many different forms of learning were of value. His view was that most teachers knew what they were doing, certainly better than politicians did, and should be left to decide what worked for them and for their pupils. However, they could not do this unaided, and he was a strong advocate of spreading best practice. What constituted best practice could only be determined by extensive research. His own 2-year study of teaching in unstreamed classes in the Midlands, which appeared as the book Teaching Mixed Ability Groups in 1976, is a fine example of such research. His strong, sane voice is sadly missed. Mr. Chancellor, on the recommendation of the Senate and of the Council, I present Christopher Rag, that you may confer upon his father, the late Edward Conrad Rag, the Honorary Degree of Doctor of Letters.
I'd like to, first of all, thank the Vice-Chancellor and Leicester University on behalf of myself and my family for what is a great honour, and we're very pleased to receive this on his behalf. He would have been very proud to receive it at Leicester, particularly in front of so many education students, I noted earlier on, which was obviously a field he loved and devoted himself to. And Leicester was a very important place for my father, really, for 3 reasons. I mean, it's where, as we heard earlier, he started his career in educational research. It's where he did his master's degree. And that really was, although he had a wide-ranging career, the broadcasting, the journalism, that was his bread and butter. That's what made what he said so authoritative. It was his... the fact that it was steeped in that academic research that he painstakingly conducted himself and others, stuff who he read. It was also very important for him, again, as we heard, in terms of his footballing interest. It's where he first started his football coaching in 1966 while he was actually here. England obviously got to the World Cup final, and he went to the final and saw that, and that's an experience that I very much envy him and doubt I will ever see in my own lifetime. Perhaps even more rarely, Sheffield Wednesday, which is a team he supported, got to the FA Cup final that year, but less rarely lost. And that's a hereditary condition, unfortunately. He's passed on to me my support of Sheffield Wednesday. Thirdly, it's where he started his family. My eldest sister was born here. It's where he chose to start his family. And family was very important to him. We've heard about his professional life, but family life was very important to him. I knew him as a man who started every day at 5 o'clock in the morning, started his writing, had more or less completed a normal full day's work by the time I'd had my cornflakes. And it was his dedication that drove him on. But having said that, he still always found the time to make time for his family. And he was a fantastic father and head of our family, and we miss him very much. Also, I mean, this award is for my father, but my mother, who is in the audience today, his career and his achievements were very much based on their partnership together. So this is as much an award for her as it is for him. So again, I'd just like to thank everybody involved in the awarding of the degree, and I hope all the graduates have a great day today. Thank you.
The remaining graduates in the Faculty of Social Sciences will now be presented by the Dean, Professor Jackson.
For the degree of Master of Science in Clinical Criminology, Justine Farley. Carleen King. Pat Mungrew.
Congratulations.
Rosemary Rooney.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Community Safety, Hugh Evans.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Brian Plasto.
Congratulations. Thank you.
For the degree of Master of Science in Criminal Justice, Francis Arap-Sang.
Congratulations. Well done.
Julian Blaisby.
Congratulations.
Lisa Crook.
Congratulations.
Don King.
Congratulations.
John Yanni.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Criminology, Sharad Bakra.
Congratulations.
Eva Mebraki.
Congratulations.
Graham Nichols.
Congratulations.
Colette Nicholson.
Congratulations.
Christopher Rowe.
Congratulations.
Carolina Villagra.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Educational Leadership, James Atkins.
Congratulations.
Ruth Benny.
Congratulations.
Sally Birkby.
Congratulations.
Alicia Buckley.
Congratulations.
Julia Carey.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Zhongchen Cheng,
Congratulations.
Jane Crocker,
Congratulations.
B. Feng,
Congratulations.
Rochelle Kay,
Congratulations.
Judith Meller,
Congratulations.
Stephen Robbins,
Congratulations.
Lisa Wildman,
Congratulations. Thank you.
Mark Willamot,
Congratulations.
Ching Wu.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Educational Research Methods, Maria Christodoulou,
Congratulations.
Evanthea Christofi,
Congratulations.
Christina Sangaridu.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Emergency Planning Management, Philip Davis.
Congratulations. Well done.
For the degree of Master of Science in Finance, winner of the Management Centre Best Full-Time MSc Prize student, Fatih Abdusalam.
Congratulations and well done on your prize. Well done. And congratulations.
Abisola Awarindi.
Congratulations.
Navjit Bamra.
Congratulations.
Samik Budil.
Congratulations.
Philip Bull.
Congratulations.
Stacey Chase.
Congratulations. Well done.
Nisha Shavda.
Congratulations.
Minching Cheng.
Congratulations.
Ding Ding.
Congratulations.
Ella Eliadu.
Congratulations.
Matthew Francis.
Congratulations.
Faye Go.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Hai Meng Go.
Congratulations.
Fei Ya Han.
Congratulations.
Chen Huang.
Congratulations.
Nuaman Ishtiak.
Congratulations.
Na Jiang.
Congratulations.
Li Jin.
Congratulations.
Simge Karabakh.
Congratulations.
Ka Ko.
Congratulations.
Bing To Lee.
Congratulations.
Yan Li.
Congratulations.
Chang Lu.
Congratulations.
Chao Lu.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Ning Lu.
Congratulations.
Wen Zhou Lu.
Congratulations.
Qi Xin Lu.
Congratulations.
Mai Lu.
Congratulations.
Darren Maskena.
Congratulations.
Imani Mlaki.
Congratulations.
Ofimo Obadan.
Congratulations.
Nana Omarukihi.
Congratulations.
Oikemi Osibona.
Congratulations.
Yolanda Utu.
Congratulations.
Long Pang.
Congratulations.
Kashya Parikh.
Congratulations.
Vishal Patel.
Congratulations.
Shanara Pereira.
Congratulations.
Jessela Rida.
Congratulations.
Juan Rodriguez Calvo,
Congratulations.
Li Shen,
Congratulations.
Inderpal Sura,
Congratulations.
Imran Suleiman,
Congratulations.
Jay Wei Soon,
Congratulations. Thank you.
Chi Ya Tang,
Congratulations.
Jia Yu Tang,
Congratulations. Thank you.
Jia Wang,
Congratulations. Thank you.
Xing Wang,
Congratulations.
Ying Wang,
Congratulations.
Yun Zhou Wang,
Congratulations. Thank you.
Ji Chang Wu,
Congratulations.
Lulu Yu,
Congratulations.
Go Jiang,
Congratulations.
for the degree of Master of Science in Health and Safety Management, Christopher Claypole.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Peter Clements,
Congratulations. Thank you.
Jim Lilly,
Congratulations.
Nigel Maxwell Smith,
Congratulations.
Charles Mburu,
Congratulations.
Nicholas Murray,
Congratulations.
John Mvdudu,
Congratulations.
Peter Quirk,
Congratulations.
Jared Ryan,
Congratulations. Thank you.
Mark Swift,
Congratulations.
Stanley Yellop,
Congratulations.
for the degree of Master of Science in Management, Yamani Adam Zahir,
Congratulations. Well done.
Rupa Adiata,
Congratulations.
Jan Cheng,
Congratulations.
Ting Chen,
Congratulations.
Yan Yan Du,
Congratulations.
Song Du,
Congratulations.
Li Yo Hong,
Congratulations.
Chen Ching Huang,
Congratulations.
David Jani,
Congratulations.
Yan Li,
Congratulations.
To Lin,
Congratulations.
Jing Lin,
Congratulations.
Jolan Liu,
Congratulations.
Yi Lu,
Congratulations.
Sahira Mohammed,
Congratulations.
Kushbu Makan,
Congratulations.
Atish Mehta,
Congratulations.
Noor Nablusi,
Congratulations.
Wei Wei Pan,
Congratulations.
Yong Pan,
Congratulations.
Priya Patel,
Congratulations.
Despona Pariki,
Congratulations.
Ye Tao Ju,
Congratulations. Well done.
Yu Jiao Shi,
Congratulations. Thank you.
Pishon Smut Kochon,
Congratulations.
Carmen Siu,
Congratulations.
Nicholas Wilk,
Congratulations. Thank you.
Ju Jun Wu,
Congratulations. Thank you.
Wan Chi,
Congratulations.
Shi Chiong,
Congratulations.
Quing Quing Yi.
Congratulations. Thank you.
For the degree of Master of Science in Marketing, Wakas Mohammed.
Congratulations.
Sophia Bobber.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Chen Chen.
Congratulations.
Yi Kwang Chen.
Congratulations.
Winner of the Management Centre Best Full-Time MSc Student Prize, Jessica Dakhili.
Congratulations and well done on your prize. Well done.
Mandip Dinsey.
Congratulations.
Fan Fan.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Li Feng.
Congratulations.
Ying Zheng.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Konstantina Georgiou.
Congratulations.
Tian Hu Han.
Congratulations.
Chao Kun Hee.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Hana Hossani.
Congratulations.
Napawadi Janthon.
Congratulations.
Komal Karavadra.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Nabil Khan.
Congratulations.
Jurawan Kitjaro Achi.
Congratulations.
Vasiliki Kondili.
Congratulations.
Yusen Kyo.
Congratulations.
Edward Lewis.
Congratulations.
Dan Lee.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Yao Zhong Lee.
Congratulations.
Lin Lin.
Congratulations.
Shu Yulin.
Congratulations.
Martin Liu.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Yan Liu.
Congratulations.
Emmanuel Milanakis.
Congratulations.
Chia Chi Pi.
Congratulations.
Lai Yun Pan.
Congratulations.
Ki Pan.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Lucy Parry.
Congratulations.
Georgios Patsiouros.
Congratulations.
Yiling Peng.
Congratulations.
Mabel Kwan.
Congratulations. No, thank you. Thank you very much.
Li Ju Ren.
Congratulations.
Winner of the Management Centre Best Full-Time MSc Student Prize, Sopita Sudiji.
Congratulations and very well done on your prize. Well done.
Ruth Thomas.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Chao Dan Wang.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Piradej Watan Owong Wisit.
Congratulations.
Huang Wu.
Congratulations.
Yong Cheng Chu.
Congratulations.
Chao Kong Yu.
Congratulations.
Jing Zheng.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Police Leadership and Management, Mark Barron.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Sarah Cottin.
Congratulations.
Lauren Pulteney.
Congratulations.
Christopher Singer.
Congratulations.
Julian Snowball.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Researching Work and Learning, Susan Walker.
Congratulations.
Yun Yun Chu.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Risk, Crisis and Disaster Management, Ibrahim Al-Haram.
Congratulations.
Nicholas Chitsiga.
Congratulations.
Alison Gordon.
Congratulations.
Brian Kilroy.
Congratulations.
Michael Lees.
Congratulations.
Nirvana Munalal.
Congratulations.
Matthew Willis.
Congratulations.
Andreas Ziegler.
Congratulations. Thank you.
For the degree of Master of Science in Security and Organisational Risk Management, Wilson Ajitu.
Congratulations.
Joachim Barani.
Congratulations.
Dylan Hayes.
Congratulations.
Joanne Hill.
Congratulations.
Alfred Marenga.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Security and Risk Management, Martin Barnett.
Congratulations.
Gregory Batley.
Congratulations.
John Corrigan.
Congratulations.
Dade Cresswell.
Congratulations.
Paulus Gossens.
Congratulations.
Mark Lewis.
Congratulations. Thank you very much.
John Lowry McCann.
Congratulations.
Donald MacLeod.
Congratulations.
Julie May.
Congratulations.
Patrick Meany.
Congratulations.
Paul Reagan.
Congratulations.
David Richards.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Training, Mary Sisson.
Congratulations.
Laura Sly.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Training and Human Resource Management, Roberta Augias.
Congratulations.
Mariella Borconstanzi.
Congratulations.
Sapna Datta.
Congratulations.
Fami Hatta.
Congratulations.
Leela McHale.
Congratulations.
Mortani Monyami.
Congratulations.
Kalwajin Skipper.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Training and Performance Management, Stella Chan.
Congratulations.
James Gannon.
Congratulations very much.
Anne Gibson Sexton.
Congratulations.
John Gorman.
Congratulations.
Catherine Kwok.
Congratulations.
Kit Ying Lo.
Congratulations.
Samantha Mather.
Congratulations.
Brian Timbrell.
Congratulations.
Kathy Shine.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Arts in Applied Linguistics and TESOL, Margaret Horrigan.
Congratulations, we got that.
For the degree of Master of Business Administration, Irene Mabena.
Congratulations. Well done.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, I ask you to admit to the several degrees for which they are presented by my faculty those candidates who are absent.
By the authority of the Senate, I admit those candidates who are absent to the several degrees for which they are presented.
Vice-Chancellor, Lord Lieutenant, Chairman of Council, distinguished guests, particularly Christopher and Mrs. Ragg, ladies and gentlemen, and above all, graduands. It's a tremendous pleasure and a privilege to be Chancellor of this wonderful university. And one of the great sources of that pleasure is to look out on occasions such as this and see bright, happy, excited, young, and indeed not so young faces. Whatever your age, your discipline, your subject, your level of degree, wherever you call home, you share something together today. You are all now, as of this moment, alumni of the University of Leicester. It's a milestone which you've reached with our help, the help of my distinguished colleagues here in the university and many others besides. And we're delighted that you chose to reach that milestone by studying here at Leicester or by using our distance learning packages. And I say chose because despite the fact that universities like ours set high standards and select very carefully, fundamentally you, as students, and now as graduates, of course, have the ultimate choice. That you've chosen Leicester is a great source of pleasure to all of us. You are now a member of this wonderful family of the alumni of the University of Leicester, and with the idea of families in mind, another source of pleasure on occasions such as this is to look up into the gallery and to the rear of this magnificent hall and see your families, your friends, your parents, and your supporters. And I'm sure they're anxious to get you out of the hall, congratulate you themselves, and begin what I'm sure will be a long night of celebration and partying. So, in the interests of expediting that, I'm going to treat you exactly the way that Henry VIII treated his wives. I'm not going to keep you long. But before you move away, can I first of all add my small personal tribute to Ted Wragg. I didn't know Ted personally, but none of us in the world of higher education could escape his wonderful presence on television and those beautiful, poignant pieces in the THES and the Guardian newspaper. Few have done as much as Ted did for education in this country, and for me to be able to present his degree to his son Christopher here today in the presence of Mrs. Ragg was indeed an honour and a privilege for me personally. But moving to all of you, as I said a moment or two back, the other great source of pleasure here is to shake the hands of graduates coming from, 20, maybe 30 different nations across this planet. Many of you have travelled a very long way to be here. Although for once, I think I can claim that I travelled somewhat further than you did. Literally just the night before last, I stepped off a 747 from a 24-hour flight from Christchurch in New Zealand, where my wife and I had spent a glorious month in the mountains and the vineyards of that wonderful country. I was quite concerned, particularly this morning, that at some stage jet lag might kick in. I think you've all experienced it, and that I would be dropping off instead of making a speech. However, as it's now approaching breakfast time in Christchurch, New Zealand. I'm beginning to wake up again, so this could even be quite a long speech by the time we finish. I mention a trip to New Zealand for a simple purpose, that while I was there, as one does in higher education, I paid a visit to friends at the University of Auckland, intending to talk to New Zealanders. As I rounded a corner with my wife in the city there, of course I bump into a physicist friend from Imperial College London. On the plane on the way back, coming out of Singapore, the night before last, I look across the aisle and I find the recently retired former Dean of Science of the National University of Singapore, with whom I completed a major project about 10 years ago. It is indeed a very, very small world. And paradoxically, the further we travel and the further you have traveled to make your studies and to come to Leicester, the more one begins to realize just how small a world it truly is. And in our world of higher education, which you have been a critical part for the last several years, nothing can be said to be more true than that it is an international business. It's a small world that we tend to take for granted. We assume that within a few hours we can be transported to whichever location on the planet we wish. In recent weeks, just prior to Christmas, I myself was in Shanghai and then on to Tokyo. In 2 weeks' time, I shall be in Dubai. Many of you, with the degrees you've just received, will be going into the world of international business and commerce, and you will treat the time zones as I do, as a degree of carelessness, and at your age, perhaps more enthusiasm than I for the long flights. But something else has happened that has shrunk the world perhaps even more than the Boeing 747. I'm referring, of course, to the internet, although I have to say that there were days in New Zealand, particularly in South Island, when I regretted having my BlackBerry strapped to my belt, buzzing away with the latest emails from Leicester and elsewhere in the UK. But the implications of the internet for higher education cannot be underestimated. The University of Leicester has been in the vanguard of using this great new modern tool that we all now take for granted, perhaps earlier than almost most universities, certainly in the United Kingdom. And those of you who've earned your degrees by the distance learning method know precisely the power of that tool. Those of you about to enter careers in business will also take it for granted. But we should never take for granted that which brings us from so many nations on this planet together. I mentioned choice a little bit earlier, and I use the word quite consciously, and particularly in a group of you who are all postgraduates. You above all, as opposed to, say, an undergraduate, a simple rite of passage between secondary education and the world of work, you as postgraduates, particularly those who are in mid-career, already in post, in senior positions, many of you, you have made a choice about your personal time, commitment, and dedication to securing your degrees here. I think we at Leicester would regard your decision as being a wise one, and that it complements not only your own good sense, but I think also that you will find that the degree will stand you in good stead in your careers and enhance your future prospects. But it emphasizes that we ourselves, like you, our graduates, see ourselves very much as international. We were invited just a year ago to join the 1994 group of international universities, an extremely powerful peer group across the planet. So as you head off, wherever it may be, the City of London, to the markets of Shanghai, to South America, to the Middle East, or Africa, or wherever you go, you will take with you this family membership as an alumnus or an alumna of the University of Leicester. You can take great pride in that, as we take great pride in you, as you pursue your careers. Your successes reflect favorably on your university. So let me finish where I began. Let me congratulate you once again on behalf of all of my colleagues and all of your tutors. And let me wish you a successful career, but above all, much health and happiness. Thank you. I now declare this congregation closed.